respected chief guest Radhakrishnan, Advocate Radhakrishnan Perumbala, respected P.K. Lal, Coordinator Millet Mission Kerala, respected Dr. N. Jayashankar, who is my elder brother, beloved Keshavetan, Leelavati, and Rajendran Sir, Central University. Actually, I written down the speech because it's difficult to talk extempore on such an occasion. This is a very auspicious day. We are celebrating the 93rd birth anniversary of my father, Sri K. Neelakantan, the founder chairman of Koumudi, Grameena, Netralaya. The greatness of my father is in the way he lived his life, strictly following the principles of discipline, honesty, simplicity, sincerity, regularity, truthfulness. He always taught us about the values of life. He imbibed these values through association with his mentor and guide, K. Narayanan Nambishan, whom he called his beloved Valyamavan. He worked most of his life as a Hindi teacher in Kendriya Vidyalaya, though he learned drawing and painting. He sacrificed his interest in this drawing and painting for his family and learned Hindi after he joined the job and took a BA in Hindi and worked in the Hindi department for the rest of his life. He has worked in Kendriya Vidyalaya and then worked in Bhavan Vidya Mandir, Kakanad. He used to quote the Sanskrit verse often. Acharyat padam adatte, padam shishyam somedheya, padam sabramya charinyu, padam kala kramenatu. Meaning the knowledge partially we learn from the teacher, partially we learn by ourselves, by the shishya, 1/4 of it. Then part of it we learn from our friends whom we work with, friends and associates. And rest of the knowledge, it comes to us through experience. From our childhood, he and our mother, Koumudi, in whose name this institution is known, used to eulogize the importance of knowledge in life. This was what Valyamavan inculcated in him. Some of his favorite slokas I would like to recite. Vidya Dhanam Sarvadhanat Pradhanam. Vidya Dhanam Sarvadhanat Pradhanam. The most important wealth that we can possess is Vidya, knowledge. Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Vinayad Yati Patratam. Patratva Dhanam Apnoti Dhana Dharma Tata Sukham. Vidya, knowledge should lead to humility, then to character transformation. Then we should get dhanam, that means make money. And through that dhanam, we should live a life of dharma, duty and responsibility. And that will give you sukham, that will make you happy in your life. Apurva kopi koshoyam, vidyate tava bharati, vayato vruddhi mayati, kshayamayati sanjayat. Vidya is such a rare treasure, means wealth. Rest of the wealth will get depleted by giving. Vidya is not like that. We go on giving, it goes on increasing within you. So it is a sharing of Vidya that makes you more and more knowledgeable. My parents never hesitated to meet the needs of in our education. My father used to go to great extents to get the necessary books for our studies and place us in a proper environment for education. The importance of education and that this life is a school in which we learn the lesson of life was ingrained in us from beginning, from the childhood itself. His life exemplified the Sahajmar goal of integrating both material and spiritual aspects of life like two wings of a bird. When we do anything outside, the actual result is the sublimation of ego, and we rise from lower levels of reaction progressively to higher levels of response, and finally to the level of perfect mental balance of Sthita Prajna state, explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. The life of Mahatma Gandhiji was a reference point for him. Gandhiji strived in his life for this integration throughout his life. That is why he named his autobiography as My Experiments with Truth. Truth is not something to be just spoken about. Love is not something just to be spoken about. They have to be manifested through our character. The statement, the end of education is character. If character is lost, everything is lost, were my father's favorite ones. Thus his transition to Sahajmarg spiritual sadhana was really Sahaj or natural. The latter part of his life was devoted totally in the service of his master of Sahajmarg. He never hesitated to mention this in his speeches. Truly his mentor, Valyamaman, led him to the real path. He had no difficulty in this transition at all. His interest in planting plants and trees, his activities like picking up waste paper on the way, removing weeds and grass around the house and the hospital, his punctuality to reach the hospital in time, as he did during school. He was a very, very sincere teacher. He must have taken leave for a number of days which you can count on your fingers. He never used to take leave. His sincerity in doing every work as his own responsibility, etc., 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 are all worth emulating. Education for him was not restricted to school. Education was a process to understand the lesson to be learned in the biggest school, the school of life. What is the lesson that we have to learn in life? It is to know that we are really free, we are immortal, we are the sources of knowledge. That source of knowledge is within us. Nay, we ourselves are the knowledge. To know this, we have to learn lessons of acceptance of all experiences, depend on the highest self in us, and when we pass through the various experiences. We may be anything outside. We have but to learn the same lesson of life. We may be doing so many jobs, but the lesson to be learned is only one. To know what is light, we have to pass through darkness. To know what is truth, we have to pass through various relative truths. To know what is immortal, we have to pass through bodies which are mortal. It is knowledge in our level that helps us to pass through our lives without falling into ignorance again, because we have fallen again and again into ignorance. That is why we are all suffering. We have to live our lives in truthfulness, following what comes naturally to us, always being centered in our real state. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sreyan Swadharmo Viguna, Paradharma Swanishthidat, Swadharme Nidhanam Sreya, Paradharmo Bhayavaha. It is better to do whatever dharma, whatever duty comes to us naturally, rather than following some other's duty. Because dying in one's duty is better than doing someone else's duty and responsibility. All that we experience outside is reflection of our ignorance within. If we were in the center, if we are already light, would there be darkness? So the darkness what we see around us is a reflection of the ignorance within us. The intolerance which we show outside is the intolerance which we have inside. And the lack of love which we see outside is the lack of love which we have within ourselves. We have to experience, imbibe and transcend it without having to carry it in us. We have to learn our lessons so that we don't have to carry the books around. This is the journey of life. The journey through knowledge of lower to knowledge of higher levels, and finally to the source of knowledge itself. We sacrifice what we learned at the altar of the source, never stopping at any stage. Bhagavan Sri Krishna again says, you should be aniketaha and stiramatihi. That is the real bhakta. Bhaktiman me priyo nara. What is a bhakta? Who does not halt at any stage of knowledge. He goes on progressing and progressing with a fixed goal in his life. All knowledge follows from the center outside. What we think is that we'll learn from outside. But the truth is that knowledge comes from within, through the medium of ego. Ego is the medium which expresses this knowledge. The flow of this is called dharma, from the highest to the lowest level. To catch this dharma and to be in the flow, we have to really know. We have to really know what is the flow. To catch the flow, we have to be humbled that I know nothing. compared to the source of knowledge, but yet be confident that if I do what is expected of me truthfully to the level of perfection that is possible at the moment, I will be guided by the pure flow of knowledge. This is the confidence we should have. If I am humble and if I am using the knowledge which I get truthfully and sincerely, I will be always guided by the source of knowledge, which we can call God Almighty. He guides us if we are truthful. Though we are working in an eye institution, ophthalmology represents a branch that flows from above. The body and senses connect us to the universe. Hence the universe is known as Prapancham. Because we see through an experience through the five senses, it's called Prapancha. The information from bottom to top, which flows from the sensory level to the brain, and top to bottom, which flows from the brain to the senses, is conveyed to through the mind. So both these are done by the mind. You take information from the senses to the brain, and then the knowledge which we have. Suppose I am seeing you, I get a knowledge. How do I know? Because it is there in my mind. It flows from up down. Both this is conveyed by the mind, which works using the body as the instrument. So body is the instrument of the mind. The knowledge is in the seed form, in potential form within, like the seed of a tree, which blossoms into the full tree in the ideal conditions. This is also proved in modern science, where genetical information is now known to be regulated through epigenetic mechanism. So all the knowledge is within us. The people tree or banyan tree lights is inside the seed of the tree. If you get an ideal condition, the seed blossoms into the full tree. If you just put in a cupboard, it will not grow. So you need to give a proper condition for the seed to mature. We use what the environment stimulates in us, stimulates to unfold from the genetic memory. This is what is proven by science also. Genes does not represent a thing which cannot be changed. Unless the environment is suitable, the genes do not express themselves. This is what is proven by epigenetics. So we have to create environment that will blossom the innate talents within the people, the potential knowledge which is within the people, so that they grow into perfect individuals. To work in the field and yet be connected to the total knowledge source is our duty and responsibility. If we do so, we will manifest the qualities of that state of pure knowledge, love, joy, peace, absolute awareness or consciousness. So whatever work we do, we have to be connected, we have to be humble and be connected to the source which is within our heart. Then you will be joyful, then there will be love, then there is peace. Thus we should widen our horizons of knowledge, which is the only way to humility, and through it power of discrimination of right and wrong, dharma and adharma, and then it progresses to nitya and anitya. There is no other way. Only through knowledge can we become humble, and only then we can develop this power of discrimination. Unless you have a power of discrimination, you are less than a human being. What differentiates a human being from animals is that power of discrimination. These lead to selflessness and sacrifice of the lower truths for manifesting the higher truths. Thus progressively we reveal the real higher self within, to hide our lower eyes, lower egos. We have a lot of personalities. I am not one, I am 100 of people. I can be a doctor, I can be a parent, I can be publicly, I can be another person. I can manifest anger, so there is, you are not a unified personality. We are all hundreds of eyes. So we have to unify these and become a single unified eye progressively. This is helped by knowledge. Our beloved master, Lalaji Maharaj, he says, very simply, God has hidden himself in your hearts to reveal you. Now hide yourself to reveal him. This is the real sadhana. So the life is the sadhana which we hide our lower selves to reveal the real me within me, the higher self. This is the role of education. With these yearly orations, which is conducted in memory of Sri K. Neelakandan, it is our hope that the real flame of knowledge will be kindled in the hearts of those who participate in it. And this flame will spread gradually to the society at large. These orations will be conducted by selected personalities in the society who say what they mean and mean what they say. So that is the criteria we are going to have for people who are going to do these orations. They will be saying what they mean. So it's not just talking. They will be living the life, what they are preaching. Practice what you preach, who are committed to the true values of life. The inaugural oration is being conducted by Sri N. Jayashankar, who is my elder brother, presently the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax, Chandigarh. He is one of the rare people who are committed to practicing the values that he preaches. Not to mention about his wide knowledge in almost every known field, which he has developed through hard work and wide reading. I know this personally because he is my brother. He exemplifies the ideal Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam in his life. That means hearing, then contemplation, and then practice it in your life, which has led him to a spiritual path, Sahaj Marg, in which he continues his odyssey to the path of real knowledge or Paratjnana, along with manifesting it in his material life. We have two knowledges. One is called the knowledge apara, means what we are doing here. And apara means what we are becoming inside. When you do something outside, am I becoming good? Am I becoming better? Am I becoming more loving? That is called Paratjnana. What is God realization? Realizing that love is the basis of life. This is what is called Paratjnana, what I understand. He is in always the ideal person to conduct the inaugural session. We are indeed fortunate that he accepted to be present here for the oration amidst our busy professional schedule. Our chief guest is none other than Radhakrishnan Perumbala, a famous Malayalam poet. Poets have always been a source of wonder to me in the way they create ideas, get creative ideas from events which do not strike a lay person. We may see a flower, but they see what is behind the flower. Creativity brings us close to the creator, and in fact the words of poets resonate the vibratory consciousness levels of super consciousness. We are fortunate to have him here in this Jnana Yajna. So I call this a Jnana Yajna, so a sacrifice, knowledge sacrifice. We are also fortunate to have Sri P.K. Lal, who is one of the rare people that I have met in my life, who's sincere deep to the core of his heart. He is involved in a wide range of activities from social welfare, agriculture, conservation of rare breeds of cows, promotion of millets, conservation of nature, traditional treatment modalities, and a wide and practical knowledge in various subjects. I always look upon him as an advisor in various subjects. We have Dr. Rajendran from Central University, Kasaragod, Dean in Biochemistry, who is a person we really feel honored to be associated with. We also have Keshavetan, who has been with us throughout the journey of our eye hospital. So I can't mention these in words now. So with this few words, I inaugurate this function. It's my pleasure to inaugurate this function, and we assure you that we will have quality orations every year, which in connection with my father's birthday. His birthday falls on 25th November, but he does not like to take leave. So we will be holding the oration only on the Sunday, which follows after the 25th. So 25th, if it is a holiday, it will be on 25th. Otherwise, it will be the Sunday after the 25th. Thank you all for patient hearing.